This is a data center. Facilities like this one need massive amounts of water and power to operate. By 2028, US data centers could use as much as 720 billion gallons of water annually just to cool their servers. That's enough water to meet the indoor needs of 18.5 million households. The rapid and unregulated AI-driven growth of data centers will have profound impacts on water scarcity, our energy bills, land, climate, and our health. Data centers are also creating huge problems for our democracy, with big tech companies like Meta, Palantir, Amazon, OpenAI, and xAI investing heavily in these facilities so that they can have more control of and information about us and our society. They're even willing to drive us toward fascism, all so that they can perfect the science of advertising and become even more obscenely rich. These are just a few of the many reasons why we became the first national organization in the US to call for a nationwide moratorium on new data centers. We need more time to understand the risks posed by data centers and to establish strong regulations that protect our drinking water, stop energy price spikes, and ensure we're using clean energy to power these facilities. Why should we be concerned about data centers? Well, AI doesn't just exist in our devices. Every time you watch a deepfake video or use AI to create a meme, it's made possible by data centers, massive warehouses packed with powerful energy and water-hungry computer chips. But you can't drink data. As of 2023, nearly 80% of the water consumption for cooling at Google's AI data centers in the US came from municipal drinking water sources. This is especially harmful in states that are facing droughts and water scarcity. Generating electricity to power data centers requires even more power than cooling, with power generation making up nearly 75% of data centers' overall water needs. That's because most data centers run on fossil-fueled electricity, which uses exponentially more water than solar or wind. Big tech is turning to dirty energy to meet AI's massive energy needs. Across the country, tech companies are already extending the lives of coal power plants and using nuclear energy to power new data centers. Big oil and gas understands that the data center build-out will help extend the life of the dying fossil fuel industry, especially amid increasingly cheap and clean energy. Big tech needs big oil to provide the energy for data centers, just as much as big oil needs big tech to provide an increase in energy demand. All this new energy demand, plus the new infrastructure needed to support it, will raise our electricity rates, especially for people living close to data centers, but also even for people without data centers in their backyards. In fact, I live in Baltimore, about 70 miles away from the large concentration of data centers in Virginia, and already my electricity bills are going up. In fact, I've had the highest bill I've had in the 20 years that I've lived here. For many families that are already struggling with affordability, these higher prices are an undue burden, and we're really just paying a direct benefit to big oil. But I know, what about the jobs? Well, long-term jobs associated with data centers are dramatically overinflated by industry. In fact, our research team recently found that as few as 23,000 people likely held permanent jobs at data centers throughout the US as of 2024. This represents about 0.01% of all employment across the country, while at the same time the industry consumed more than 4% of all electricity used. We also found that the investment required to create a permanent data center job in Virginia was nearly 100 times greater than what was required to create a job outside of the industry. Meanwhile, AI is replacing jobs at an alarming rate, with no plan for the impacts of this. According to one AI CEO, AI could spike unemployment by up to 20% in the next 5 years. So, how can you help stop the unregulated data center boom? Well, across the country, Food and Water Watch is joining allies to fight against fossil fuels and big tech. This fight isn't just confined to just a few states, and proposals to build new data centers could be coming to your community. At the local level, we're supporting fights to stop individual data center projects. At the state level, we're building strategic coalitions working to curb data center growth. We're building support in Congress for a national policy to halt new data centers. To build the most powerful resistance possible, we need you in this fight with us. Sign our petition to Congress calling for a halt to all new data center construction. You can also sign up for our email and text updates, or follow our social media channels for more ways to get involved. This is a big fight, but it's not unwinnable. Big tech wants us to believe their dreams are inevitable. They aren't. These are political decisions that are being made. And people across the political spectrum are concerned about data center impacts, and public opposition is getting louder. Together, we need to push lawmakers to hit the brakes on the completely unregulated deployment of massive data center projects, so that we have time to determine if they can be properly regulated at all. Visit this link to learn more.